Georgie and Mandy's Young Sheldon spinoff cannot be just about them, unless it breaks the Big Bang Theory canon. Sheldon may be bidding Texas goodbye and heading to sunny California to start his postgraduate studies at the end of Young Sheldon Season 7. But CBS will continue to tell the story of his brother and Nibelungo as they navigate their new partnership. It's a good way to continue the Young Sheldon lore without totally breaking away from the established continuity of the Big Bang Theory, despite creating so many plot holes in the past. Unlike the majority of TV show cancellations, CBS pulling the plug on Young Sheldon isn't because it doesn't generate enough buzz for the network. On the contrary, it is the most watched comedy on broadcast, with Season 6 posting series high ratings. Young Sheldon's end is purely because of the Big Bang Theory continuity, which mandates that at 14 years old, Sheldon will finish college and move to Pasadena. Currently, the boy genius is about to reach that age. Elsewhere, the prequel also has to tie all the lingering storylines for the rest of the Coopers. Young Sheldon's Georgie and Missy spinoff explained. Baby Cease's parents are headlining a new CBS show. Work is cut out for the writers to wrap up Young Sheldon with a shortened Season 7. Luckily, the announcement of a new spin-off eases the burden on it, although it poses some new challenges. Georgie and Mandy's upcoming offshoot is born from the popularity of their partnership that started in Season 5. What was supposed to be a fun fling eventually turned into a serious commitment when they found out that they were unexpectedly pregnant. Not one to shy away from any responsibility, Georgie insisted that they stay together. Ultimately, they genuinely fell in love with each other. Moving the universe forward with George and Mandy's storyline through a new show is the best compromise when handling Young Sheldon's future. Georgie and Mandy's Young Sheldon story is arguably the best original storyline that the prequel has ever come up with. The Big Bang Theory didn't mention anything related to their romance, and somehow, the spin-off was able to craft a compelling storyline that doesn't break continuity. Because of these factors, moving the universe forward with George and Mandy's storyline through a new show is the best compromise when handling Young Sheldon's future. This is especially integral, considering its increased popularity after it landed on Netflix in late 2023 and immediately charted. The new Young Sheldon spin-off is supposed to be just about Georgie and Mandy. That being said, it will be difficult to do it without involving Mary and Missy, since the Big Bang Theory didn't reveal much about Georgie's love life, let alone his relationship with Mandy at this point. The new offshoot has more creative wiggle room to move their story forward. Perhaps they can move out of Medford, Texas, and start a new life elsewhere, which separates them from the remaining Coopers in their hometown. This would allow it to progress without any cameos from Missy and Mary. Unfortunately, if this is the narrative route that Young Sheldon's Georgie and Mandy sequel will take, it will immediately break the established continuity of the nerd-centric sitcom. According to Georgie, during his emotional argument with Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory Season 11 penultimate episode, he took over the family after George's death. It remains uncertain if Young Sheldon Season 7 will tackle the Cooper patriarch's demise, something that it has been dancing around for years now. Because of Mandy and Georgie's show, however, they cannot get away with ignoring it the same way they did with his affair. This means that either of the CBS series will have to address George's demise one way or another. For context, Young Sheldon Season 7's timeline mandates it to be the one to play it out on screen, but they can also delay it because of a potential gap between the main show and its spinoff. Regardless, Mary and Missy will remain connected to Georgie, and telling his story in a new series cannot be done without his sister and mother. When the events of the Big Bang Theory picked up, it had already been several years since Sheldon's move to Pasadena, which is expectedly going to be the end point of Young Sheldon. That said, through stories and anecdotes from the Cooper family members, there is little known information about what happened to them. While Sheldon settled in Pasadena, he remained oblivious to the chaos ensuing in his family home after George's death. Mary kept appearances for her favorite child, claiming that everything was under control in Texas on the heels of her husband's death. In reality, however, she was too grief-stricken to function, hence why Georgie had to take over. Meanwhile, young Sheldon's season 7 supposedly fixing Missy isn't going to stick for the long haul. Per her oldest brother, she continued her rebel arc and was even dubbed a dumb teenager, describing her difficult behavior at that point. As for Georgie, aside from taking care of his mom and sister, he will also start laying the foundation for his business, Dr. Tire, which became the biggest tire chain in Texas. Not much is known about how he was able to build a massive company, especially during one of the most trying times for his family. However, young Sheldon has established that the eldest Cooper kid has always had a penchant for entrepreneurship, particularly when handling tires. Couple that with Mandy's family owning a tire shop, and it would be fairly easy to understand how he got into that profession. Will Missy and Mary appear in the Young Sheldon spinoff? CBS should keep as many Young Sheldon characters in Mandy and Georgie's show. As previously mentioned, only Jordan and Osmond as its headlining characters are the confirmed cast members for the Young Sheldon, Georgie, and Mandy spinoff. All things considered, however, it's difficult to imagine that CBS won't want to bring back as many actors from the main show, given their established chemistry on top of being integral to the character. In any case, perhaps the network is just waiting for the right time to announce the full cast list for the new project, since their focus is to ensure that Young Sheldon wraps up satisfyingly when it bows out in May.